Hello. On tonight's show, Mike is going to show us the next batch of losers. We're going to round them up and pass those along. And then we're going to see the next batch of matchups on Cover Combat 10 Blue Chip Edition. Welcome to your favorite cover art loving, battle simulating live stream, Cover Combat by Xcellar Comics. I am your constantly smirking host, Kevin, but I am not alone, although we're -1. You may have been able to tell already, but first up is Mike.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? Then also, of course, we have the awesome, the amazing Patrick.
Whoa, thank you. Happy Combat Day, everyone.
Happy Combat Day.
Yes, sir.
Man, is my mic being wonky? I mean, that's why I'm like grinning like that, because I opened the show with a muted mic. Did you guys note that?
No. What? No. I didn't notice anything.
Yeah, and my mic is, I think we're in store for me having a bad mic night.
Sounds like someone's playing Yar's Revenge in the background.
Yeah, I got nothing going on.
Yeah, nothing.
I hear, that's really weird you use that reference point. I hear Yar's Revenge like all the time in my ears because of the tinnitus, from old war wounds. It's like a Yar's Revenge thing. I should probably get that checked out. Anyway, Pat, I asked you before the show started, or I made a joke about it, actually, a bad joke, so I'm not going to repeat it here. But Pat, what is up with your profile pic? Can we see that again? And you tell me about it.
That's Green Lantern Corps member Chip.
I'm unfamiliar with him. Are you familiar with Chip, Mike?
I am not. I don't know a whole lot about Green Lantern or the Corps.
Now we get the joke, though. So does that say Green Chip underneath your subtext there, Pat?
It does.
Impressive. It's gotta love the nuanced subtleties of a good jokey presentation, especially when you have to over-explain it for people who don't get it like me.
Exactly. Yes.
I think I think I opened myself up to like a gut punch from New York Mike when I see him, because I still don't know anything about Green Lantern. It's one of his favorite characters. He's gonna punch me in the stomach and say, "You need to read Green Lantern."
Yeah, that's a good point. I might be a little frustrated at this point in our lives if you didn't know anything about Wolverine.
Yeah.
And no offense to Green Lantern fans, but I mean, that's a little different.
It's a lot
different. Me and you think that, Mike, but Pat, is it? If you don't know anything about Wolverine, does that seem as crazy or less crazy or evenly crazy as if you don't know anything about Green Lantern?
Green Lantern, maybe. When you get down to the level of a Chip from the Green Lantern Corps, now you're saying something.
Okay.
Definitely should know Wolverine before you know Chip.
Yeah, there you go.
Did Chip ever have like a limited series or an actual series run or solo series run or anything like that?
That's a good question. I don't think so, but these days it seems like everybody gets their own book eventually, so maybe.
Mike from New York would know. Hopefully he shows up. Mike, if you're here already, let us know. Green Lantern Chip had his own series. Anyway, enough of the tomfoolery. What, Mike?
I have more tomfoolery. Hold on.
Okay.
This kind of, Patrick and I kind of had this conversation. And this goes back to where we were initially wanting to do like a segment, a special segment on a certain subject or whatever. And I figured, I'm like, it would be better if we just did it as a whole show. And it would and then Patrick said it's sort of like a, in case you didn't know, but a longer version of it. And we could pick something, an odd subject or a not very well-known artist or writer or something like that, and just bring that to the forefront. And this Chip character could be one of those episodes.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So like, instead of a regular Saturday show, it's like, okay, our next Saturday show, we'll be back to a regular format. This one, we're going to talk about this character in the Green Lantern Corps named Green Lantern or whatever, Chip and Dale. So
hey, you're gonna spoil my next week's picture.
Oh.
All right, enough of the tomfoolery then.
Okay, enough of the tomfoolery now. People are here because they cannot wait to find out whose or which covers are still alive in the runoff for the most amazing cover of all time, because that's what the winner of Cover Combat 10 Blue Chip Edition is going to be, right, Mike?
We can hope so. Yeah. I mean, because there are some, that we think are amazing, and then there are others that kind of, since I know the results, yeah, exactly what you said.
I think he just wants us to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. I'm just saying yes because I don't want to spoil anything else.
Well, I'm just letting you both know that when this is all over, I am referring to whichever one wins this one as the greatest cover of all time. So,
all right,
prepare yourself.
And if anyone asks, just like refer them back to the show.
Exactly. It'll be a selling point forevermore. But anyway. Right. All right, Mike, the screen has been shared. You are ready to go.
Okay. So first we're going to get the results of round 1B. As a reminder, here are the prizes. I didn't do my homework to see if any claimed covers are eliminated. So
hold on, Mike. The tomfoolery isn't quite over. Johnny made a comment that Chip is like the Green Lantern version of Rocky. Thank you, Johnny. Are you familiar with Chip enough to know if he had his own limited series or a solo run of any kind, anything like that? Let us know.
And is that Rocky Balboa or like Rocky and Bullwinkle?
No, he actually said Rocket.
Rocket. Did I say Rocky?
Rocket.
Yeah, you said Rocky.
Oh, okay. Thank God I shared it on the screen. Yeah, it says Rocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Johnny's correcting me. He's on.
Johnny, save it for the episode.
Oh, sorry.
I'll scrap that one.
It is Rocket Raccoon, not Rocky.
All right.
Sylvester Stallone or Bullwinkle and Rocky, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll scrap that episode because we already covered most of the stuff that we would end up talking about.
That is funny. I would accidentally say Rocky, since Rocky was another squirrel, right? Bullwinkle and Rocky's a squirrel, right?
Yeah, moose and squirrel.
Okay, that's what I thought.
All right. Anyway.
All right, Mike, just go on with the show. What the heck?
Shenanigans. Tomfooleries. All right. So, moving forward, our first matchup. And thanks to Pat, we have a nice, clean copy of Superman 11 to present.
Oh, awesome. That looks so much better without that kid's autograph on Superman's face.
Right.
So, Pat, where'd you find that? Just deep in the heart of the internet somewhere?
I think it was mycomicshop.com.
Okay.
So thanks to them.
Yep. Yeah. I don't have time. A lot of times I'm like, okay, I spend a few minutes looking. I'm like, this is the best I'm going to get. I got to move on to the other 63 covers.
Well, did you try just looking in the CLZ app for it anyway?
Yeah. Sometimes they're not very clear.
Oh, gotcha. Oh. So it was there, but the quality wasn't good. Got it. Okay. All right.
All right. First up, Amazing Spider-Man 122 from John Romita versus Superman 11, Fred Ray. The winner here, 64% of the vote.
Hey, did you say why these were blue chips?
I don't know, maybe somewhere along the line.
Why couldn't I? Well, I think you were supposed to when you first presented them last week. But the reason I'm asking is I forgot what Superman 11 was. Do you remember?
Superman 11 is just a 10-cent Superman book. It's old and, you know.
Okay, well, you said that same thing about, I can't remember what cover it was last show, and I'm going to follow that up by saying, so is it more valuable than 9 and 12, or are you just saying this is just a random old Superman other than Superman 1 we also picked?
Yeah, it's just a random old, all those old Superman books are can be considered a kind of blue chip. This one I selected myself because of the classic Superman breaking chains that has been used multiple times. So I'm going out on a limb here and saying that this is probably the first time it was presented. So that's why
the first cover appearance of Superman breaking chains. That's what we'll go with, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll start off here by saying I didn't vote for that one. I voted for Amazing Spider-Man 122. Although I wanted to, I gave it some thought. That's I ultimately landed on ASM. So,
yeah, I love the ASM, but I went with the Superman 11 because there's a lot going on in Amazing Spider-Man, and I do love it, and I voted for it last time. But I kind of like the simplicity of that Superman cover. There's nothing in the background attracting your eyes from, just a great pose.
Yeah, and some would just say it's a classic cover. That's what some would say. All right.
I want Spider-Man here. That is a nice classic looking Superman cover, but just the character, I'm a bigger Spider-Man fan than I am Superman.
Yeah.
But I bet that Superman got all the kid votes, right?
It did.
Yeah, of course.
Well, they're both awesome nevertheless, so.
Right. Moving on with 64% of I voted for the Superman. I think I said that.
Yeah, you did.
Right. All right, moving on. 64% of the vote went to Amazing Spider-Man 122.
Is this how you did it last show? You just blurred the one? Is that how you did it? Or did you?
No, last time I didn't do anything to the losing cover, and I just did the two things on the corners, but they kind of get lost. Like the Amazing Spider-Man, I had to change it from green to black because it just got lost.
Yeah.
And then I wanted something a little bit different, so I faded out the losing cover.
Okay. I like it. All right, good job. Nice.
I just can't do anything 100% the same from week to week.
Right.
Wow, it's like, I have a new idea.
Right.
Stay tuned for next week's new idea.
Right.
Oh yeah. So there we go. And unfortunately, the new clean Superman cover didn't get to be used again.
Yeah, all that work to finally round up a good one in the last 5 seconds, right?
Exactly. All right. Next matchup. Bone number 1 from Jeff Smith versus Green Lantern 85 from Neil Adams. A lot of close ones this week, and this was one of them. 55% of the vote.
Yeah, that checks out for me. This was really tough for me. I love both of these covers a lot. But I actually owned a Green Lantern, Green Arrow for a long time. And I was sad to see it go. So that's probably what ultimately made my decision. I went with Green Lantern, Green Arrow.
All right. I went with Bone number one because I like to look at them in their cartoony adventures more than I like to look at a junkie.
Right.
And I get the importance of that book. I get all that, but
Yeah,
it's just not a pleasant book to look at. Sometimes I don't want to be that serious. I just want to enjoy, the Bone Cousins.
So on the Green Lantern note, Pat, has this Green Lantern, whoever this is on Green Lantern, Green Arrow, as that Green Arrow or Green Lantern has his own series, had his own series at any point in time?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I can't. The joke was so bad I can't repeat it.
Yeah, I laughed at it. I'm laughing at it.
Thanks, Mike. I just asked if that Green Lantern has ever had his own series. Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, I was already formulating my critique of the covers in my head, and I couldn't. I didn't have enough room to process a joke. Also, so.
Okay.
One thing at a time.
When I watch this back tomorrow, I'll laugh for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I want Bone here. I mean, I get in the pantheon of covers, Green Lantern covers. That just isn't, top tier. I mean, I get, like Mike said, I understand the importance of it, but I don't think it's a better cover than Bone number one. That Bone number one sort of encapsulates the whole series in a way. It's all about the three Bone Cousins. So yeah, that's the way I went.
Nice. Okay.
Like I said, 55% of the vote went to Bone number one.
Yeah, it checks out. My my heart would have probably voted for that Green Lantern cover too many more times. So I'm gonna just say I'm happy to see it go. Actually.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, next up. Silver Surfer number one from John Buscema versus Marvel Comics 1 from Frank R. Paul.
Hey, Mike, did you see that? Did you see Johnny's comment?
You can't. What?
I can't. I'm not on that screen.
Oh, it says, imagine if Chip was on that cover, that would have lightened the mood.
It would have.
And Mike from New York is here. He just said, shaking my head, Kevin. We're looking for an answer to the question, though. Mike, hook us up. Has Chip ever had his own series or limited series, whatever, anything like that? Chip the Green Lantern squirrel. Let us know. People are waiting.
Much like Rocket, he's not an actual squirrel. I know that much about him.
What, he's like an alien that looks like a squirrel?
Basically? Yeah.
Johnny's saying no. I don't know whether he's just so sure of himself that he's saying no, or whether that's factual.
But Rocket's a raccoon.
Yeah, he's not a raccoon though. That's what I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. I see now.
Yeah, Rocket's not a raccoon. He just looks like a raccoon, and Chip is not a squirrel. He just looks like a squirrel.
Wait.
If Chip gets to the end of this episode, as far as a different way to discuss him, I'm going to start collecting anything Chip is in.
Maybe Johnny's just saying no to the Chip talk. He wants us to move along.
Yeah. Okay.
That could be. Okay. Fair enough. Mike, go.
All right, moving on. Silver Surfer number one versus Marvel Comics number one. The winner had 90% of the vote.
That doesn't surprise me on this one.
It's a beatdown.
Not to interrupt you again, Mike, but Mike from New York has confirmed. We're trusting Mike from New York as the Green Lantern connoisseur, and he says that not that he's aware of, but he knows he's been featured in backup stories, but that's all. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, Mike. On this one was pretty easy for me, as it seems like I'm guessing that most of the audience probably is the same way. I went Silver Surfer. I've always had issue with that Marvel Comics cover, so this was easy for me.
Yeah, I agree. I went with Silver Surfer and the Marvel Comics. Wow, it is silly and not silly, but yeah, I like old art styles, but this one just doesn't do it for me. I kind of like the Marvel Comics trade dress there. I think that's awesome, but that's where it ends.
Yeah, I don't think many, you know, on the fringe comic, our voters here would have anything to grasp onto on that Marvel Comics cover.
Right.
So just what everybody else said, and I also went Silver Surfer.
Yep. Right. So no need to dwell on this one too much. 90% went to Silver Surfer #1, as they're predicted.
Very nice. I still have 2 copies of that.
Nice.
In
addition to the one we used to have, and then we sold, and then you got 2 more.
Yeah, and I think we actually have one for sale on eBay, don't we? I think we do.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
if not, we got to get it up there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we might be able to put it up there and say, "Hey, Cover Combat 10 winner, Silver Surfer #1, purchase it here."
That's genius, Mike. Genius.
Yeah. All right. Next up, NYX #3 from Joshua Middleton versus Superman 1, Joe Shuster. The winner, 64% of the vote.
Pat, did you confirm, in fact, if NYX means New York X-Men yet?
Well, I don't think it necessarily stands for X-Men, but I think there was like an X district of New York that they're referring to here. So but it basically, X-Men.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on this one, unlike the other Superman covers, I love this Superman cover. This is beautiful in every way. I know how to talk about how beautiful a book is. So there it is, right there. Easy pick. Easy pick.
Yep, I agree. The Superman it's fantastic. It's a great pose for Superman. I like the framing, all that stuff. But I did vote for NYX.
Oh,
what?
I know. I've always loved this cover, and I didn't know that it was Joshua Middleton when until I put this together. I loved all the covers that I've seen recently of his over the last 10 years. So finding out he did this was great, and this kind of looks like somebody spilled their coffee on it. I always drink coffee around my comic books. I like that spilled coffee look. So I just like that. It's got a lot of atmosphere to it.
It does, yes. So
that's why that one's appealing to me.
Yeah, probably the opposite here of Mike. I although I am and was a big Joshua Middleton fan, I just never really liked this cover that much. And that Superman, has a lot going for it. So I went Superman in this case.
Does anyone know why the NYX has that blur effect to it? Is there some meaning or anything with the book? Is she being watched for the entire book or something? You know what I mean? Whatever. We're looking through a lens or
It gives me. Yeah, sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it just gives me the impression that she's lonely on a rainy day. She's soaking wet.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
All right. Let's see if I was correct or if you guys were correct. 64% went to Superman #1. Doesn't surprise me. Worthy of the victory.
Definitely worthy. This one might go far.
Yep.
Because I think this is a classic cover that translates to the modern audience too, because especially as of late, I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, that a lot of covers recently have kind of chose this kind of portrait formatting on cover, so I think it'll still translate to the modern audience, like I said, right?
It's certainly I certainly don't think it's like anchored in the past. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It certainly can translate to a modern audience easier than some of the other older covers in this Cover Combat 10.
Gotcha.
Yep. Well put. All right. Next up, X-Men #1 from Jack Kirby versus Amazing Spider-Man #1 from Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko. The winner here shouldn't be surprising. 55% of the vote.
Yeah, not surprising. That's for sure. I just took a coin and I assigned heads to X-Men and tails to ASM and flipped it. And that's how I decided, because I could not decide. And it did land heads. So X-Men got my vote. Love this X-Men cover. I know there's all kinds of problems with it, but I love this X-Men cover. I mean, I love the Amazing Spider-Man too, but I just love this X-Men cover. I've always have. So,
yep. Yeah, I went with X-Men as well. Both classic covers, both great. The way Spider-Man is on the Amazing Spider-Man cover, it always just seemed odd, almost like he should be turned a little bit more. For it just looks weird to me. Everything else looks great. It's just that's weird, and I love that X-Men cover.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, there were 2 votes that I waited to the last minute on this round, and this was one of the matchups. And I ultimately went X-Men as well. It just, I think it encapsulates X-Men better than Spider-Man 1. Shows off Spider-Man. Although this is an example, unlike that Daredevil #1 cover, that spotlights. They're using the Fantastic Four here to help sell the magazine, but in a much better way than that Daredevil #1 cover. But yeah, like I said, tough choice, but I went X-Men as well.
Gotcha. I'm assuming Johnny went X-Men as well, because he's commenting he loves that Angel had a bazooka. Right.
Yeah, Johnny went with Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh,
I think he just likes Angel and the bazooka.
Okay, gotcha.
All
right.
So let's see. Are we right, or is Johnny right? Moving on is X-Men #1 from Jack Kirby.
Very nice. I think for multiple reasons, this X-Men #1 has been in, I think this is its 3rd Cover Combat. See if this one can get it for it.
Yeah. All right, next up. Showcase presents the Green Lantern #22 versus Detective Comics 38. Gil Kane on the Showcase and Bob Kane and Jerry Robinson on the Detective Comics.
Well, I picked the Kane cover. This one was easy for me. So
They're both Kane covers.
Oh, man, I didn't even notice that.
Are you laughing at yourself?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, this one is easy for me though. I love that Green Lantern cover. I never enjoy Batman smiling. That goes against all I know about Batman. So when he smiles, it's definitely not good for me. And I've never been a big Robin fan. So, yeah, this is easy for me, Green Lantern.
Yeah. Well, I think Batman's smiling because he's like, hey, look at this kid. You guys are going to love him.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Perfect.
Kevin Long. I went with the Showcase as well. I love that perspective on New York and everything. So yeah, I like that one. I guess, well, is that New York? I don't know. I take that to be New York, but I know DC doesn't use New York. Anyway, go ahead, Pat. I'm going to stop talking now because I don't know anything about Green Lantern.
I don't love either one of these covers. But I went Green Lantern, even though I have bigger problems with that Green Lantern cover because you know, you're gonna spotlight and show off a new character. Why are we looking at the back side of them, versus a full on front view? But whatever.
Hey, that's kind of judgy, Pat. Some people
I
like
know.
to look at the back of characters.
That's what I've heard, but seems like an odd choice. But it is a cool cover. I just wonder what was their decision.
Right.
First chance to see this new character or whatever, and
Yeah.
kind of an odd view of them. But yeah, I went Green Lantern here because I'm not a big fan of the Bob Kane smiling Batman either. That's when it comes to smiling Batman, that is a weird looking smiling Batman.
Right.
Maybe if Green Lantern was popping through like a paper ring,
yeah,
coming right at us, might have been a better way.
There you go.
Character.
Yeah, right. Who would be the one introducing him though through the paper ring like that though?
That squirrel.
Oh, nice. That would be so perfect.
All right, we need somebody to hook that up, Johnny.
Yeah.
All that today. All right. So anyway, let's see who's moving forward.
Hold on. Johnny's got a comment. He says that is Coast City.
I knew it.
Not New York.
Right. Yeah, Coast City, also known as New York.
Thank you for that info, John. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
For anybody who doesn't know, I don't know who'll be watching the show that doesn't know, but I feel compelled to say that Marvel's classically known for real cities, and DC is classically known for made up cities. So,
right.
Yeah. All right.
That looks like a giant lawn dart too.
It does look like it. Who knew Green Lantern? You never know. You never know what's going to happen on an episode. That's why you got to watch every single episode of everything Xcellar Comics puts out, because Green Lantern can be the topic of the day, and you don't know what's going to happen. So you don't miss out.
Which isn't great because I'm not there's a reason I haven't read a lot of Green Lantern. I'm not a big Green Lantern fan. It's not interesting to me.
All right, we have another correction, Mike.
Let me guess. It's a missile, not a lawn dart.
No. Mike from New York says Coast City is in California, so I stand corrected. Apparently, DC uses some real cities. My bad.
They use states. They use actual states, but then they make up the cities. Maybe, I'm guessing.
Well, no, he said Coast City's in California, so it's a real city.
All right.
If we can't trust Mike from New York, who can we trust?
No, I trust him. I just don't trust his judgment on reading good stories because
don't go there. Don't go there. You've never read one, so Green Lantern could end up being your favorite character of all time. You just never read a Green Lantern story.
Yeah, that's true. Mike knows I'm kidding. All right. Moving forward, let's see who the winner is. Let's see who we get to talk about next week. Okay. Hey, look, next week's going to be more Green Lantern. Showcase Presents number 22.
Nice. Mike here comment again says, yes, Mike is correct. And then Johnny commented, how dare you? So I feel like I'm reading these comics for your sake, these comments for your sake, Mike, since you can't see them.
You are, since I can't see them.
Yeah.
Well, also for the folks that are just driving in their car listening.
Yeah, but I could just. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that we do have a fan base like that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this isn't a great episode to listen to. This is all visual. Everything's all.
Yeah, I would say most cover combats are that way. Yeah.
All right. Well, we all know these covers. Next up, Action Comics #1 from Joe Shuster versus Captain America 100 from Jack Kirby. Once again, 55% of the vote went to the winner.
Yeah, that checks out again. And once again, I had to use the flip a coin method on this one because Cap is one of my favorite characters of all time. Way more of a favorite character to me than Superman. Jack Kirby is definitely one of my favorite artists over Joe Shuster. But I actually like the Action Comics cover. It might have to be partially due because of how iconic it is in general anyway. Although I think when we talked about this Action Comics cover, obviously we've talked about it many times, but wasn't it Tom that pointed out how that something about that front guy in the bottom left corner freaking out, you know, the perspective on him or something like that. Do you remember that in one of the episodes?
I remember it happening, but I don't remember the specifics.
Oh, okay. Well, it was something that made me appreciate the cover even more. So that's why these are pretty equal. So I flipped a coin, and Action Comics won.
I went with Captain America 100. I love Action Comics. It is a great cover. And now that I'm sitting here looking at it, I could easily wish that I had voted for it because I like them both a lot. But I just, I don't know. I like that Captain America cover. I like the team back there and everything.
Much like Avengers 4 by Jack Kirby, this falls into my category of it's not my favorite Jack Kirby covers. And I just love everything about that Action Comics cover, the logo, the trade dress, everything. The only little quibble is Superman's so tiny on that cover, but I think it kind of conveys what his power, you know, smashing the car and everything. So yeah, I went Action Comics here.
Yeah, I think you're right. Superman's so small, but he's got a great profile pose there, and then with the cape, it kind of draws your eyes in there. And I wonder if it's just more striking because he's so small. If he was larger on it, I don't know. Anyway, let's see who the winner is with 55% of the vote. Moving on, it's Captain America 100.
Oh, Dagger, man.
I mean, it's like Action Comics #1 is the blue chip book of all blue chip books.
It is, man, and it is out of here. Daggum, that is a little distressing. I was looking for an Action Comics #1 ASM 15 finale. You know, that ain't happening now.
Nope. Could be ASM or Amazing Fantasy 15 and Captain America 100. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. Did I say ASM? Sorry. Yeah. You know what I meant.
Yeah, but I knew what you're talking about.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, next up. Detective Comics 27 from Bob Kane versus Dell Giant #48 from Harvey Eisenberg.
So this one was easy for me. Love that detective, of course. I gave this Flintstone cover a long look, and I really do like it. But you know what I was thinking when I was looking at this Flintstone cover, Pat?
What's that? You could have drawn it.
No. No, I was thinking this looks like every Flintstone cover I've ever seen. I like, you know, and obviously that isn't true, but I just feel like in my head, you know, this could be any Flintstone cover. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Sure.
So that's where I went detective on this one.
Yeah, I went detective. Kind of, I didn't think of it that way, Kevin, but I kind of see what you're saying, and I would agree. That's subconsciously, it's probably a reason that I didn't pick it because it's, you know, the Flintstones. I like the Flintstones. I used to watch them all the time. I love the animation. I love the way they're drawn and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just a classic detective cover.
Yeah,
I like the way Batman's cape looks and all that. So I went detective.
No, I'm the odd man out. I picked the Flintstones.
Oh, geez. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Just on a purely, I think it's a better cover. I mean, I don't have any attachment to that Detective Comics.
I can see that. Definitely. Yeah.
I understand the importance, of course, but
well, this is about the actual cover, not the
importance. Yeah, we're trying to keep it real with the actual cover. Yeah.
Yeah, I like.
What'd you say the percentage was again, Mike? I'm sorry.
I didn't say it, and I thought, you know, some of these that are kind of lopsided, I didn't want to say them until after we're done.
Oh, okay.
This one's a little bit lopsided. Not the worst though. It's not the worst lopsided. It's 82% went to the winner.
You were breaking up. Try that again.
82% went to the winner.
2%. Okay.
So it's not as lopsided as some of the others.
Well, you gave it 90% on the Silver Surfer one anyway already.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think there might be there's another 90%.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. Let's see who's moving on. Will it be the Flintstones? Nope.
Man, that might have been your greatest flip-de-doo, whatever we call it when you do it, when you fool us sometimes. If Flintstones actually won that one, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, laugh. Supposed not to be. Okay.
A lot of times, you know, I think sometimes it's the character, because I think, you know, it's a better drawn cover, but I like the bugs in the bottom corner of that detective also.
Hey, and I just want to tell all the kids watching right now, DC stands for Detective Comics. Okay, if you didn't know that, now you know, because I watched a video the other day where a dude was at a Comic-Con and he asked like 50 people if they knew what DC stood for, and nobody knew. It was totally amazing to me.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I mean, even if you didn't know, that's a decent guess. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean,
and that's because Detective Comics was the first comic DC produced as well, right?
I don't know about that. Maybe.
Do you know, Pat?
I'm not sure.
I think that's accurate. So I don't know about that, kids, but we do know that DC stands for Detective Comics. Anyway, go ahead. All right.
All right. You know what we'll have to do is highlight Detective Comics 1 through 26.
Right. That'd be a good idea. Right.
I've seen 1. I know what 1 looks like, but like 2 through 26, man, I don't know. Because they weren't superheroes, they were detectives.
I just had a Cover Combat 12 idea.
Great.
We're going to, the only covers you can pick are the covers that no one knows exist in any way, shape, or form, but you've always been curious about. There's the standards for Cover Combat. Just joking, folks. Just joking. Yeah. Anyway.
You know, I for this 27. Are you laughing at yourself again?
That was the late. I pressed it when I was actually being funny.
Okay.
At least in my opinion.
Yeah, and this is a really thick book. There are a lot of stories in there, and I think the Batman story is, 7 pages or something like that. Really
is that true?
Yeah, it's really short.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. I want to see Detective 28 because I don't know what that one looks like. Do you? You guys?
Nope.
Anybody?
No.
Yeah. How about that?
Mike from New York has a tidbit of information that DC was National Comics first. So.
Yeah, National.
Yeah. So why did they decide to go Detective Comics as the DC as the thing?
Good question.
We should have an episode about that.
Right.
All right. Moving forward. We have a long ways to go. This is only halfway. Jeez. A lot of shenanigans going on. Next up, Daredevil 168 from Frank Miller versus Tales of Suspense 39 from Jack Kirby.
This was another easy one for me. Love this Daredevil cover. We've owned this Daredevil cover multiple times over the years. While I love this Tales of Suspense cover as well, I can appreciate it that it kind of sucks, though. In my personal opinion, I get the it's showing something. I like the representation that everything on the cover is representing, but But yeah, as far as the art in general, yeah, it's not very enjoyable to me. So Daredevil for me.
I voted for Daredevil. I love that cover. I like the Tales of Suspense also. I like the little panels going down. It's a great layout. I really like the layout.
Yeah.
But I did ultimately go Daredevil, and I'm not going to trash Tales of Suspense because I know who everybody voted for.
Okay.
Thanks. You're so kind, Mike. Yes, I voted for Tales of Suspense. I think because I learned a lot about Marvel characters through reprints, right? So I knew Iron Man is, yellow and red, gold and red. And then I picked up either which one it was in, Origins of Marvel Comics or Son of Origins of Marvel Comics. And I see this bulky gray tin Iron Man here, and it just made that impression on me as a youngster. And I've always liked this cover because it was so strange, much like being such a big fan of The Thing and then going back and reading reprints and seeing the original version of The Thing just was so weird, but so intriguing to me. And I loved it. Meanwhile, the Daredevil cover I have no attachment to it. I didn't read Daredevil when it was coming out. I didn't read the Frank Miller issues when they came out. I read them later in collected form. So I just don't have any attachment to it. And I have some problems with it. I think it's too busy, too dark. Daredevil looks kind of weird. I don't know. So yeah, I think mainly because of nostalgia, I went Tales of Suspense here.
Yeah,
gotcha.
The Tales cover is very clean. It is. They do contrast greatly. There's a lot of shadows on the Daredevil, and that Tales of Suspense is so clean.
Yeah, and I like I said, I love that Tales of Suspense. But unlike the other cover,
like you said, when did you say that?
When I said I love this, I love both covers. That's how I started my critique. Do you want me to rewind it and play it back?
Yeah, and then just stop where you said that Tales of Suspense cover sucks.
I didn't say the Tales of Suspense cover sucks. Pat, do you want to remind him what I said? Because I know you remember.
Did you say it was terrible?
I said the art sucks.
Okay.
And that's what we're appreciating here in Cover Combat, right? I may have actually said it sucks in general, but I started off by saying I love it. I love the cover. But that's if I didn't clarify that, I just think the art itself just by itself, because as you mentioned with the other cover, Pat, I could probably draw this one.
I've seen your drawings. You can draw the squares.
I'd be right. We have a very specific trivia info about DC Comics now from none other than Jessica R.
Who?
My wonderful wife.
Oh, yeah.
Despite the official names National Comics and National Periodic Publications, the company began branding itself as Superman-DC as early as 1940 and became known colloquially as DC Comics for years before the official adoption of that name in 1977. Thank you, Jessica. Other known as Baby. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's see what we're going to talk about this week.
Okay.
64% of the vote went to the winner.
All right.
Here we go. Moving on. Covers that don't suck. Daredevil. 168. Ah, man, I labeled it 148.
Oh, you did.
Well, that's wrong. That's the first Frank Miller. But you know what? I even went through all of this and I read the artists, I read the titles. How did I do that?
You double checked yourself throughout and still one slipped through. And you never that's that's why mistakes happen. Mistakes happen constantly.
Every week though. Pat's going to send me another list,
Right.
which I appreciate. All right. So anyway, yeah, Daredevil 168.
Moves right along. Got it.
Yeah. All right. Next up, like I said last week, hardest matchup for me: The Crow #1, James O'Barr, versus Tomb of Dracula #1 from Neil Adams.
So unlike you, Mike, this one was pretty easy for me.
Mhm.
I don't love that Crow cover. Never really have. But I love that Tomb of Dracula cover. So that's kind of real easy, simple reason why.
Mhm.
Kind of that Crow cover. I always thought he had kind of a lazy eye. His left eye is kind of a lazy eye, you know. So I don't know, you know. That Tomb of Dracula is so cool, you know, ominous, you know, dark, perfect, you know, yeah.
Yep. What? Yeah, I was having a hard time. So then I had to look at them and try to find out what I didn't like about each one. On The Crow, what I didn't like was I felt that his nose was just a hair too small for his face, and the barrel of the gun should have been larger as well. So size proportions on those two. The Tomb of Dracula, now, when I looked at that, I didn't find anything wrong with it. I voted for Tomb of Dracula.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad you dissected this matchup so well, Mike, because that gives me more reason to stick with my vote, which was also Tomb of Dracula.
Nice. All right.
Hey, just to follow up on the what I can draw and what I can't conversation, my wife would like to show the evidence that as someone who's played many a game of Pictionary with you, she thinks I could definitely draw that Iron Man cover. Thank you, Mama. Thank you.
All
right. And Mike from New York's got a comment. There's better Kiss covers than this. All right. But who won? That's the question.
Yep. Moving on. 73% of the vote went to the winner. And if anybody can do quick math in their head, all three of us took Tomb of Dracula, so that probably would help out somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
It is Neil Adams and the Tomb of Dracula.
I would love to have that Crow book. That's for sure, though.
Yeah. I like to have both of those. And yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to have both of them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right.
All right. Next up, Batman Adventures #12 from Mike Parobeck versus Invincible Iron Man #1, Gene Colan. Oh, I was going to say the percentage, but I'm holding off on all percentages.
Okay. So this one was tough for me too, for you know, different reasons as to why I love both of these books. And basically, it's the Iron Man has more of a nostalgic meaning to me, and I've owned that a couple times. But the Batman Adventures, I think, is just great. I love that art, and I've never had that one. But I basically I love the Batman Adventures more, but the nostalgia of the Invincible kind of evens it out for me. So you know, I had to flip a coin on this again, and ultimately I went with Batman Adventures.
Yeah. I have a funny story about that Batman Adventures #12. It's close to The Walking Dead #1, but it's not 100%. It was on my pool list. And I have like 1 through 11 and then 13. When that was coming out, Butler Comics had closed, and New York Mike can attest to this. He would, and he worked at the other store, and I had my pool list there. I would never go there and pick up my books. So like once every 2 months, Mike would come home and he'd say, "Hey, dude, I brought your books home. You owe me $78 or whatever." And a lot of times books would be missing. And I think because they sat there so long and people wanted them, so they'd say, "Oh, this guy is never coming in. He's always leaving his books." So they'll pull out a number 12 Batman Adventures because everybody wants it and sell it. And then I didn't get my copy.
That's tragic. That's a tragedy right there, Mike.
I know. So I never had it in my hand, but it probably was in my pool box for a month. Mike.
Mike Collins has 2 copies. Yes.
Mike has 2 copies.
Right.
But it's just a story. I'm not complaining because I never went and picked up my books.
Right. You can't complain if you don't get your books.
Yeah, I appreciate that Mike brought them all the time. It's like, dude, they're gonna cancel your pool box here. I picked them up for you. So I voted for Batman Adventures.
Man, $78 worth of books back in the early 90s. That was a big load too.
I think I made that number up.
That was a nice number. I believe that number though. I believe it.
You know, it could be because I mean, what was this one? $1.25.
Yeah.
2 months, and you know, you and I, we were never shy about adding books to our pool list.
Yeah, we were in the multiple comics era at that point. Yeah, we would get 6 copies of X-Men #1.
All I wanted was 1 copy of Batman Adventures.
Yeah. 78 bucks will buy you 7 books now.
Hey, I think you might be right on that, man.
Sorry, Pat. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. Yeah, we kind of hinted at this when we revealed the covers last week that I have sort of disdain for that Gene Colan Iron Man cover. It's just I just never liked that cover. So the Batgirl or the Batman Adventures book, you know, I think I have all of the Batman Adventures books. I really liked Mike Perrobeck. He was a really good. He could really work in that animated style.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I like that cover.
Awesome.
Cool.
Mike from New York's got a comment, a follow up on Mike's story. He is confirming that Mike was, in fact, a deadbeat subscriber.
Yeah. Hey, when the books were in Butler, it was easy because I lived in Butler. When they're in Grove City, I didn't live in Grove City.
Right.
I lived in Butler.
Yeah, that was a whole 15 minutes away. You drive an hour to work every morning now, but you couldn't handle that 15 minutes in the 90s.
Is Grove City 15 minutes away?
I don't know. Is it, Pat? We haven't been there in forever. How far is
It's more like a half an hour. Yeah. Well, from my house, it's probably a little further from the city. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in town.
Yeah.
I know. I was just making a weak joke. Sorry.
I lived down on the island. I didn't have gas money to go to Grove City.
Right. Right.
All right. 73% of the vote went to Batman Adventures #12.
Yeah, I think that could have gone either way with 73%. I had no idea based on that percentage.
Yeah.
That's cool, though. That's cool.
Yep. All right. Next up. Oh, this was a great matchup. Dark Knight #1. Frank Miller versus Amazing Spider-Man 50 from John Romita.
Another coin flip for me. Yeah, there's no way I could have decided this on my own. Basically, I love them both equally. And for kind of the same reasons. You know, both very nostalgic. Love them both. Just love the artists and love the story. Everything. These are 2 amazing books. So, you know, I just flipped a coin and landed on Batman, The Dark Knight. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you guys know how much I love The Dark Knight. It's, as I've said before, one of my cornhole boards is that cover. Love it. I have that one. I don't have Amazing Spider-Man 50. I surely want that one. I went with Amazing Spider-Man. I think it's more artistic. I mean, the other one, Frank Miller went out, took Polaroid of a lightning strike, put a little stencil, did a Banksy on there, knocked it out. Legendary cover. John Romita sat down for hours upon hours and worked this cover.
Hey, we'll give Frank some credit too. He took a picture of Batman coming at us and just shaded it out with a Sharpie.
Right.
Right, Pat?
Yeah.
You say so.
All right.
So I went Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah, this was my other difficult matchup of the week. And I kind of surprised myself. I went Dark Knight here.
Oh, that does surprise me too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Let's leave it at that. I went for the Dark Knight Returns.
All right, then Johnny's chiming in. He basically just repeating what we're all saying. This is the hardest matchup for him this week. So yeah. Which way, John?
John went Dark Knight.
Yeah. All right.
The winner, would you believe, 55% of the vote?
I totally believe that.
I believe it.
Well, that's not it.
What? Oh, you did it. You did it. You did it. Nice job. Nice.
The winner had 90% of the vote.
Oh my God. That's shocking.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm going to say that still doesn't lead me in either direction. I can see either one of these winning by 90%.
Yeah. I was dumbfounded.
Wow.
All right. Let's see which one got 90% of the vote. Batman, Dark Knight Returns, #1. Frank Miller.
Wow. I actually was changing my mind as I was waiting for you to actually reveal there that I would have predicted at 90% it would have been Spider-Man.
Yep.
And like with what you said, Mike, with this being more of a Spider-Man being more of an artistic cover rather than just a Polaroid shot of lightning.
Yeah. Frank Miller doing Banksy before Banksy.
I don't know what that means.
Street artist.
Oh, okay.
There's some documentaries about him. Do you know who Banksy is, Pat?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great documentaries. Nobody knows who Banksy is. I don't think they've figured out who he is yet. I mean, somebody does, but
he does.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah. Yeah, that one really surprised me.
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny's got a fun reminder. The Batman Dark Knights one, the Dark Knight Returns one, was a runner-up in a previous cover combat. I totally forgot that. Yeah,
it was. Yep. How close can it get this time? Can it finally take home the trophy?
Yeah, and be known forevermore as the greatest cover of all time.
We'll see. All right. Lost my place here. All right. Ultimate Fallout 4, Mark Bagley versus Conan #1, Barry Windsor Smith.
All right. So I don't know if this is going to surprise y'all or not, but this one was easy for me.
That does surprise.
I am a big Conan fan. He definitely drops in and out of my top 5 favorite comics all the time. But this Conan cover really reminds me of another Barry Windsor Smith cover that I don't care for too much. Because of the disproportionate, kind of funky, in my opinion, way he's standing. It gives him his waist a whole and his legs a whole kind of different weirdness to me. But I am a fan of Barry Windsor Smith. I like Barry Windsor Smith. Okay, let's just say that. Okay. Mm-hmm. He has a famous cover of another character that I love dearly that I don't care for the same reason I don't really care for this one. So it was easy for me. I went for, and Ultimate Fallout's obviously a great cover anyway, but I went Ultimate Fallout. So there you go.
All right. I went Conan. I love the pose. I think it looks fantastic. Now, obviously, later on, the more modern comic or later renditions of Conan, he was a little beefier, but He does look like he may have skipped leg day a couple times, but
right.
overall, I like the pose. I like the cover. I never was a real big fan of that Ultimate Fallout. I know the second printing, actually, you can see Miles's head over top of that banner, which I actually think looks better and may have been a better cover. Yeah, I just wasn't a fan of the way he's standing on. The other characters are kind of in that background. I know it's not all one scene, but just never really loved it.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not the world's biggest Conan fan. But I think that I know Mark Bagley has his detractors. I'm not usually one of them. There's certain covers I'm not a fan of at all, but this falls into that camp. I think this is just a lazy cover. It's just so boring to me. The only thing it has going for it is what it has going for it. It's not the artwork. So yeah, I won Conan here.
Interesting.
I think if he had dropped Miles down a little bit and got rid of those background characters and did a different background, I think Miles is drawn awesome. I like that. Yeah, the other characters, I just didn't think were necessary, but they may have been, kind of like those other books, Amazing Spider-Man #1, kind of to draw people to it, get the known characters in there. Everybody knew it was going to be a new Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I would have liked this cover better if it had just been a plain black background with just Spider-Man,
Yep. Yeah. All right, let's see. This one, unlike the last matchup, this one is 55% of the vote went to the winner. So,
hey, hold on one second with that thought. Johnny's got a good point actually on a statement I made.
Okay.
The Dark Knight Returns lost to the Killing Joke, so calling it the greatest cover might be controversial. That's a good point. Yeah.
That is a good point.
But guess what? I'm going to still do it. It'll be controversial every time. I'm sure no matter what cover walks out of Cover Combat 10 as the winner is going to be controversial every time I call it the greatest cover of all time.
That's true.
Anyway, okay, Mike.
Right. Well, let's see which one of these covers moves on to try to be the greatest cover of all time.
Nice. Thank you. Nice. I'm glad you're on board. Thank you.
Yeah. It's going to be Conan #1 from Barry Windsor.
All right. That's fine. It's fine. I do want to own this book too, just so that's out there as well.
Yeah. I've got the Ultimate Fallout.
I missed that boat. So yeah.
Well, I missed it too. I paid $100 for it.
Oh, you did? Oh.
Yeah, I paid $100 raw, and then I got it graded. It came back. I have a 9.6. Yeah, one little tiny nick on the back cover. I never would have known about it except for CBCS told me about it.
They might have nicked it when they checked it out, Mike. You never know.
Don't even get me started on that.
I've heard stories.
All right. Let's save that for another show.
Yeah. That's a whole nother show. Right.
All right. Next up, we have Albedo #2 from Stan Sakai versus The Creatures of the Id #1 from Mike Allred and Bernie Mirault.
Easy one for me. I love the Albedo cover. I don't love the Creatures of the Id cover.
Yeah, I like so. Oh, you voted for Albedo? Okay. Yeah, I voted for Albedo too. I kicked myself. I think the first year you and I went to Baltimore Comic-Con, I think Stan Sakai was there, and it didn't make my list of artists and writers to go see. And I kicked myself now. It's like, man, when's he going to be back in Baltimore? But the more I look at The Creatures of the Id, I like it. I like parts of it. But yeah, Albedo for me. I'll stop talking. Sorry, Pat. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I voted the same way. you know, the creatures is a wraparound cover. And if if it was based on just Mike Allred's character, Frank Einstein, Madman there, I'd probably lean a little bit more that way. But I think the Albedo cover is a nice spotlight for Usagi versus the other cover. So yeah, Albedo number 2 for me.
All right.
And interrupt one real quick once again, Mike. Mike from New York is pointing out that nothing that I say can be as controversial as when I express my love for Batman and Robin, and he might be right.
Yeah, very true.
But I do love to point that out every time I have an opportunity. So, you know,
I've got Cora just came down and she's all happy to hear you say your love for Batman and Robin.
Can I come in the frame?
Yeah.
Oh. Wait.
But what she doesn't know is he's talking about the movie Batman and Robin, which is just not great.
I take
He's
it
out of
back.
here.
I think I take it back a little bit now.
okay.
All right. Let's see. The winner here at 82% of the vote. And moving on will be Albedo number 2, which I'm always looking for. And Dollar Bin's hoping to get lucky because I found other copies. I'm like, come on, just somebody, please don't know what you're doing.
Right. All right.
There you go. That was a good matchup, though. Those are 2 books that probably aren't, a lot of people aren't familiar with.
Yeah, definitely.
And I got to go look. I didn't know that Creatures was a wraparound cover. Now that I know that, it should have known.
You can basically just take a mirror and put it right in the middle there on the side.
Oh, it's literally the same?
Well, I think the rest of it's black, except for Madman. His whole character's there.
You know what? I'll find it and we'll bring it to next week's show. Even though it's eliminated, we still want to.
Okay.
All right. Pat, if you can put that in the notes that you send to me, please.
We have a little of a conflict going on in the comments.
No.
Mike from New York says, you've taught Cora well, Mike. Okay.
Oh,
Yay! I think he has too.
okay.
But then my wonderful wife says Batman and Robin is great. Anyone opposed to that notion is the one they're controversial.
Hey,
Thank
Kevin, give me a favor. Give
What?
your wife her phone back because I know she.
Yeah.
Sides with him on Batman and Robin, compares him to Jack Kirby as an artist. I don't know, man. Something's going
You know
on
what?
here.
That looks like that's a great marriage right there. They get along. They agree. I love it.
I love it too. Saying that, yeah.
Cora was down here since she knows I was talking to you, Kevin. She wants to remind you that we need to get a Sea of Thieves weekend together.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. We will talk about that more after the show.
Yeah.
Yippee!
She's been playing for since the new season come out. All right.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Let's see. Next up, Fantastic Four 49 from Jack Kirby versus Detective Comics 359, Carmine Infantino.
This one was pretty tough. I thought this was a pretty good matchup. I'm kind of on the same level with both of these covers. Don't hate them, don't love them, So it's kind of a coin flip in that regard. So I ultimately went Fantastic Four because I have owned that again on multiple occasions. Don't now, but yeah, I've never owned that Detective. So went Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I agree. Great matchup. I love both covers. I've never owned either. Knowing me, I'll never own either. I think Carmine Infantino is a cool name. I went with Fantastic Four because I really like Galactus and Silver Surfer. I mean, the Fantastic Four looks cool too, but what really I love the main portion of that with Galactus.
Yeah,
I like the Detective. I surprisingly, I think it's a weird thing to like about it. I like the purple background. and the way it's kind of highlighted around Batgirl, that light white area. I think that's great. This was a hard one, and I put a lot of thought into it. So, Fantastic Four.
So I'm really the odd man out voting against the Fantastic Four here, eh?
That is strange. Wow. Okay.
That's strange. Yeah. I don't know. I just think the Batgirl herself on that cover is just so striking, and I like the purple. It was just enough to push it over the edge. I mean, I do like the Fantastic Four cover. It's not my favorite Fantastic Four cover, but I think there was just enough going for that detective cover that just won me over. So went that direction.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, Pat, you have Johnny and New York Mike on your side as well. They went with detective.
Okay.
All right. So let's see who the winner is. 55% of the vote. Oh, so you have no clue.
No clue.
No clue.
Absolutely. No clue.
All right. The winner, moving on. Fantastic Four, 49. And I feel bad. I feel bad that it's not the top.
Well, don't feel bad. I'm sure Pat's fine with it, with Fantastic Four moving on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so sure about John and Mike, but yeah.
All right. Next up, the last matchup of the week.
Okay.
We have G.I. Joe #1 from Herb Trimpe versus Alias #1 from David Mack.
Finish this on an easy one for me. Don't like the Alias cover. Never have. Love that G.I. Joe cover. Always have. Reminds me of the cartoon a lot, too. I'm not a big G.I. Joe comic reader, but I love the cartoon a lot. Just reminds me of everything back in the day when it seemed like there was no worries in life. So I went with G.I. Joe.
I've always liked the Alias cover, and I've never liked the G.I. Joe cover. I don't. It's great action and all that. I don't like that orange background. Is that orange? Peach. I don't like that color.
Mike, you missed it. You missed it. Apparently, there's a bunch of soldiers on there. You know, your soldier guy. Look, there's a bunch of soldiers right there.
See them now. Can't get past that color. I hate it.
Okay.
And it's David Mack. I love David Mack's work. Yeah, that's just a fantastic cover. I really like it. I went with the Alias.
Yeah,
I could probably draw that Alias cover too. Just saying.
You know, I have a new segment.
What Kevin can draw?
I challenge Kevin to draw this.
Okay. Hey, I have this great picture of a girl named Dana Basser. I think you had it for a while. It reminds me of this. It reminds me of this cover, right?
Yeah, dude. There's so much lead on that. That you did Frank Zappa also. I don't know which one had more lead on it.
Right.
The paper just can't hold any more lead. Those
were my moment where I consider that's when I was at my peak of artistry then. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I think I just gave those back to you. I had there for years.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All the way from high school. Jeez.
Yeah, Pat, did you have that period of time? Because obviously I consider you the most artistic of the three of us. Did you have a period of time there where you were drawing girls that you were into?
I collected comic books, Kevin.
Okay. I get it. No pictures of Chelsea. Got it. No drawings of Chelsea.
Well, that would have been a little weird back in the day. So she was a little younger than I was. I shouldn't have been drawing pictures of her. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason I haven't drawn my wife, because that would have been weird back in the day. Yeah. All right. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So let's see.
Oh, wait. Matt didn't get to say what he voted for yet.
That's true. He didn't. Sorry.
Yeah. I love the Alias series. I love David Mack. He did a ton of great covers. You probably know where this is going. I voted for G.I. Joe.
That vote surprised me. I really thought that you would vote for the Alias.
It's just that is just not my favorite cover of that run. There's something about it. There's tons of covers in that run I love. That's not one of them.
Yeah. I thought it was a mistake, so I put you down for Alias.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I'm just kidding.
Looks like someone drew that cover with a pencil in the cafeteria.
Yeah. It
Anyway.
does look like your old drawings.
Yeah.
You know, just the amount of black on there.
Right.
This is done.
Anyway.
All right. Let's see who's moving on with 64% of the vote. G.I. Joe #1.
Nice. All right.
All right. Jeez Louise. That was an hour long. Wow.
Yeah, this has been a fun round here. Yeah. So okay.
Yep. All right. So you guys ready to get to round 2?
I'm thinking no. I'm just going to say that off the bat because I'm feeling as this Cover Combat 10 gets more whittled down, it's going to just get tougher. I mean, obviously they all get tougher and tougher, but I think Cover Combat 10's taking it to a new level, you know.
Yeah.
So
these are good. I feel like right now we got rid of the riffraff. Those are all cool covers, cool books. The riffraff is gone.
Okay. All right.
I think that I can't remember all these matchups. I didn't.
Right.
But that's what makes this show so great. I've forgotten everything I did today. And here I am, enjoying as much as you guys.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Let's see if we can burn through these. Amazing Spider-Man. The Devil got it right this time. Wait, no, I didn't. Oh, yeah, I did. 168.
Yeah, you did.
Frank Miller. Yep. Nice, right?
Yeah, this is super tough. No idea.
Yeah. Yep. Same here.
Easy.
Oh, wait, based on what we heard at the beginning of the show. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. All right. I do remember that. Next up, Batman Adventures 12, Mike Parabeck versus Vampirella #1, Frank Frazetta.
This is going to be tough for me too, for totally different reasons, but yeah. All right.
Yep. Yeah, this is going to be one where I have to look at each cover and figure out what I don't like and make a checklist of those.
Right.
Easy.
I was afraid Pat was going to say that.
Yeah,
all right.
Pat's a big Vampirella lover. That's for sure.
House of Secrets 98 from Bernie Wrightson versus Detective Comics 27, Bob Kane.
Oh man, I like the way these matchups are going though so far. They're good matchups.
Yeah,
I have no idea. Tough.
Yeah, same here. I got to think about it.
I voted against each, but this is an easy matchup. I know where I'm going here.
Dang it, Pat. I wish I was that way on these. Next up, John Romita doing Amazing Spider-Man 122 versus Invincible from Cory Walker.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy for me. Yeah.
I finally have an easy one. I'm going to vote right now.
Yep. I need a challenge here. These matchups are too easy for me. Come on, bring something on, Mike. Come on.
Okay.
I was going to say, there is a cool matchup. There is kind of a neat matchup. And
I know that there's a possibility of a really cool matchup here.
Okay. And
I'm wondering if it happens.
These are all random. Oh, I can't wait to hear what yours is. All right. Next up. Oh, this is a hard one now, right? Bone #1 from Jeff Smith versus Superman #1, Joe Shuster.
This is unfortunate, but
was this easy for you, Ken?
Yeah, it's gonna be easy for me. Yeah.
It was from what you said last time. Yeah, this one's tricky.
Yeah, I agree. This one is not easy.
All right, I only got one for Pat.
Yep.
All right, next up, Fantastic Four 49, Jack Kirby versus Avengers 57, John Buscema.
Yeah, that's super tough.
Yeah, this is a hard one for me. I don't even know on this at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do.
Again, another great matchup. These matchups are really matching up well.
That is a good matchup. Yep.
Next up, the Goon #1, Eric Powell versus the Brave and the Bold 28, Mike Sikowski.
Piece of cake. Piece of cake. Easy.
I think this one's easy for me.
Yeah, I agree. Another easy one.
Next up, Fantastic Four #1, Jack Kirby versus Dark Knight Returns #1, Frank Miller.
Dagger, Frank. This is the one I predicted. Did you guys make your predictions for the champ yet? Did you guys pick a cover?
Yeah, mine was eliminated last week.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt.
Ah. Yes, yeah, tough. I have no idea. No idea.
How do you feel, Pat?
Oh yeah, I think I know what's happening here.
All right. There's the matchup.
What?
Captain America #1 from Jack Kirby versus Captain America 100 Jack Kirby.
This one's easy for me, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, wow. I have to think about this one.
I mean, yeah, you had a couple weeks there, Mike. You can get rid of Bucky in the meantime. You know?
Right.
I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know about this. Think about this one.
Great matchup, Mike. Totally random, though, huh? Totally random, huh?
100% random. And
Okay.
I don't know if this is what Pat was thinking. He may have been thinking of a different one. I just thought this was just a crazy matchup.
Has the possibility of the matchup you were talking about or thinking about, Pat, happened?
No.
Disappeared yet? Okay.
All right. Next up, X-Men #1 from Jack Kirby versus Albedo #2, Stan Singer.
Poor little you fella. Oh, poor little fella. This is easy for me.
Surprising everybody here. I'm going to think about this one.
Interesting. That is interesting.
I think this is a fairly easy pick for me.
All right. Next up, we have Incredible Hulk 181, Herb Trimpe versus Silver Surfer #1, John Buscema.
Yeah, it's easy, but I'm going to hate it the entire time.
I think I know which way I'm going to go on this, but I could talk myself out of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty definite on this one. Pretty easy one for me.
I think I've owned the same number of these on both sides. I think I've owned the same, or we've owned, Mike, the same amount of both of these. Except I don't have the same amount of both of them now. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think the Silver Surfer we only co-owned one copy of that, and I think the same with Hulk 181. I know you've had multiple copies, but I think we only co-owned one of them, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that was back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
A long time ago. You can get them for a dime.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. They weren't a dime, like $300. But still, what a steal, right?
Relative to now, you can get them for $9, right?
I swear that nicest copy we had was at least a 9.0, 9.2.
Yeah. Lost a few $1,000s in that transaction. Did you say whether this is easy for you or not, Pat?
Yeah, this is an easy one for me.
Interesting. I have no idea which way you're going.
I know what way he's going.
Yeah?
I'm guessing, like I do on everything. This is a cool matchup.
Yes. That is a cool matchup.
Amazing Fantasy 15 from Jack Kirby versus Showcase Presents 22, Gil Kane.
That is a cool matchup. Easy, though. Easy, but cool matchup. Okay.
Yeah, easy for me. Cool matchup.
Easy for me, and unfortunately, my dream matchup didn't happen here.
Ah, dang. What was it?
Well, we didn't reveal it. Yeah,
Yeah.
What was the matchup? Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah. I'm tracking now. I got you. All right. Next up, Batman #1 from Bob Kane versus Tomb of Dracula #1, Neil Adams.
Battle of the Bats.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have no idea on this one actually. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one that I think I know which way I'm going to go with.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is easy matchup for me.
Interesting.
All right. Next up, we have Superman 199
Aw.
Carmine versus G.I. Joe #1 Rd2.
Ah.
I know that color looks terrible, doesn't it? Compare it to that red. Kind of nice that red looks.
Yes, so this is gonna be tough for me. This is gonna be tough for me.
This is easy for me.
Somewhere in the middle there. Medium for me.
Okay.
All right. Next up, it's Amazing Spider-Man 252, which, yeah, dang, I didn't even think that would be a great matchup. All right. I mean, I do now that you brought it up. Versus Giant Size X-Men #1 from Dave Cockrum. And yeah.
No idea. This will probably be my last pick of the when I'm making my decisions. I hate this one. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah, tough.
It's funny. I'm looking at one of them right now, seeing something that's really making me not like it. So I think this is easy.
Wait, did you just say there's one of these covers you don't like?
That I mean to say that
Okay.
I won't vote for it. I still love the cover, but I have an issue with a part of it, and I will bring it next week, and I'll show you what it is, and I'll ruin
Okay.
everybody.
Yeah, I think this is a good matchup, but I think I know what I'm doing here.
All right, and I think the last matchup, Incredible Hulk #1, Jack Kirby versus Conan #1, Barry Windsor-Smith.
Yep.
Wraps it up.
Easy peasy.
I don't know on this one. I have to think. I like both of them, but then I think there are some things that both of you guys have pointed out that have drawn my attention to stuff, and I'll have to be a little more critical.
Yeah, it's a tougher one. I'll say.
So that is it. And it's so funny that Conan ended up the last matchup, but so that's the even there it's got the Titan thing in the left corner. But that's what I think the original artwork looked like, kind of like what I was using for the matchup here. But if you look under his arms, this is terrible. I can't find a better straight-on shot of the Titan book. Whoops. Wait a minute. There. I just forgot to move it. I blew them up, and you can see the work they did is just not good.
That is bad. Makes him look like some kind of aquatic creature that developed webbing in between it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what. I don't know what they were doing.
The left arm isn't quite as bad, but yeah, the left arm's still bad too.
The one with the spear?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, his actual left one. Yeah, that's terrible.
It's very weird because at first glance you think maybe it's a coloring mistake, but they actually went in there and used like a clone or something, because you can really see it in this shot right here, where you can see like they duplicated his wristband and that gold band right up his arm. So it was a real hack job. I don't know what they were thinking. Some people are saying, they thought, like we kind of made fun of, like Conan looked a little petite on this cover, perhaps. So they were trying to beef him up a bit, but boy.
Well, with that picture you're showing right there, does it seem like maybe it was some kind of misprint or whatever that seems like it should be slid down, because the two balls that are underneath his arm there match the two balls that are on his wrist. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. And I meant to follow up and see if there's any further discussion on this, to see if Titan. I called him IDW last week too. I apologize for that.
That's a physical copy of the book that Titan had put on their Instagram page. Yeah. So I think they were printed. Now, whether they're going to do a reprint and send covers out to the people that bought them or not, that's a lot of money to spend.
Yeah, that's not good. Not good.
But that should have never made it past any editor or anything. The Kirby Crackle's gone. That was just terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what we were talking about last week.
Yeah, that's cool. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Cause I didn't know what y'all were talking about. I hadn't seen it, so yeah, it's cool to see it. All right. I love the original more now. I wish I'm glad it made it along so I can vote for it to the end now.
Yeah. That's good.
All right, awesome. So that's it then, right?
That is it.
Without having Karen here, I updated nothing, so I'm just going to say what I remember to say while I put the first thing up, which is just the like, comment, and subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications. But basically, what I remember to say is two big things. First of all, check out our next episode of Cover Combat 10 round 3, which will be back to next Monday. We didn't even talk about that. We had to move it to Tuesday because Mike had the special privilege of being present for that awesome Steelers win last night. Go Steelers.
Yep. That was exciting.
Yeah, and so that's we didn't even say that's why we moved it to tonight. We have our priorities straight, right, Pat?
That's right.
And we moved the season premiere of Cover Combat 5 from last Saturday that was definitely more important reasons. But this coming Saturday, which is November 2nd, I believe.
Yep.
8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the premiere of season 5, our regular live stream. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then lastly, you can start voting on this round of Cover Combat right now. You can put it in the comments here. No one really takes me up on that, but it's available to you if you want to start right now, or you can go over to the Facebook post. Mike, is that post up yet, or is that going to be up soon? Or
yeah, it went up at 9:32.
Okay,
I thought we were going to be done at 9:30.
We had a lot of fun on this
based
one,
on last week. So yeah, we had a lot of shenanigans.
Yeah. But so you can go over to the Facebook post, vote on each matchup individually over there. If you do it over here, just make it, succinctly enough that we can tell what you're talking about here. And get your votes in. And we also discussed that we've extended the voting period. We usually cut it off on Friday. We're extending it. You've got until Saturday, 10 p.m. Right, Mike? That's what we've decided to change it to?
The post says 7:30.
Okay, 7:30 Saturday night.
Yeah.
So make sure you get your votes in, and make sure you get all your friends to vote. And, like I already said, like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Share the heck out of it. We'd love to get a lot more votes on all of our Cover Combat shows. So,
yep.
Right?
Yep.
Right.
And we miss you, Karen. Hopefully we'll have, she already says she's definitely going to be at the premiere. Hopefully we'll have her back for Cover Combat next week, because it's hard to fill her shoes, so that'll do it. Mike, anything else?
Nope. See y'all Saturday.
Pat, anything else?
That's it.
All right, awesome. Thanks for checking us out. And until next time, don't forget that appreciating great art is awesome. But watching covers battle it out in cover combat is a lot of fun. So why not do both and watch cover combat on Xcellar Comics? Xcellar out.